RFL Season 14, round number 6 at Qatar will get underway when the 5 red lights go out, and that will be now. Who's going to get a good start initially away? It has been a good start from Polytromp. It's also been a decent start from Danny, who's trying to go side by side and around the outside of Tarrier in the battle for P2. Maybe Verklempt trying to get involved as well. It looks like championship leader Danny is up to P2 there, and now it's side by side between Tarrier and Verklempt in the battle for P3. Oh, that's a Sauber into the wall. Are they still in the Grand Prix? It looks like they are, but it's going to be damage to that Sauber car as up the inside, Lord James on Vibes in the battle for P5. And still the two of them side by side. Vibes with the inside line there, and that sees him stay ahead of the two Ferraris for the moment. There, and it's a front line change for hard, and on to another set with soft compound tyres. Now look back towards this leading group. Lord James has got past Vibes. Yeah, so apologies for missing that one. Tarrier making sure that Danny's mirrors are full of his car here, and it really is nose to tail here between Danny and Tarrier. It is going to be DRS for the V car driver. A car or two going slightly wide out of the final corner. Danny once again trying to break the toe. Is it going to be enough? Because DRS for Tarrier. Danny defends the inside line, but Tarrier is able to go around the outside and up to P2 goes LTK Tarrier. And on to the start finish straight we go once again. Fastest lap for Tarrier. But Lord James right into the slipstream of Verklempt. Is he going to go for the move? He had a look there. It wasn't quite enough this time round, but it could come to fruition. The battle into turn number 2. Lord James trying around the outside. Is there going to be space for the move to be complete? Yes, there is, and Lord James up to P4 now in this Qatari Grand Prix. Verklempt and Vibes are pretty close to each other as well. Same can be said for Angelo and Mr. Diaz, and that's a 3-second penalty for Verklempt. First of the frontrunners to get a penalty, really. And now it's on to... Oh, who's that spinning? Who was that? It's Mr. Diaz from Alpine. And that is not good news for the Alpine driver. Oh, that was close to hitting the pit wall there. Thankfully, the Alpine driver, they do not make contact with it. Now, on to the final corner at the end of lap 5. Danny under pressure now once again. Lord James with that DNS wide open, and side by side goes Lord James, and the Ferrari man makes the move stick into turn 1. We'll have a look further back in the field. Mr. Diaz applying the pressure to Harry. It's around the final corner they go, and it is going to be some DNS for Mr. Diaz here. The Alpine driver opens that rear wing, and side by side he goes with Harry in the Haas, and the Alpine and Mr. Diaz up to P10. Yellow flags. Hardest out of this Qatari Grand Prix. Oh, Lord James and... Oh, Tarrier's gone off circuit. Tarrier has gone off circuit. He's now down to P5 with Vibes all over the back now as well. Very unfortunate there for Tarrier. As Verklempt now had an issue. Verklempt loses a couple of positions now. And now that puts him right on the tail of Vibes. As Harry gets a 3-second penalty, and into the pits goes Tarrier, but there could very well be some action down the pit straight here. All 3 of these drivers with DRS, as Vibes goes a bit defensive. Verklempt, can they go around the outside? Oh, there's contact and Vibes has to keep control of the car, but does so very well indeed as Harrier goes on to some hard compound tyres. Bolly also pits for Sauber. See, Harrier comes out between Mr. Diaz and Harry. But into the pits there goes Danny M7. See if any action occurs down the pit straight. Is there going to be action? Vibes closing up to Verklempt. He's going to go up the inside into turn 1 side by side. These two go once again. It's contact free this time in turn 1, but in turn 2 it's not. And Verklempt into the gravel. He has lost a bit of time there. Danny will come out of the pits with Tarrier overtaking Mr. Diaz, and Danny is going to slot in behind those pair and is on to a set of the medium tyres. Ozzy Jr. on to a set of the hard tyres. Up to Danny gets himself ahead of Mr. Diaz for P7 there. As round the final corner goes Angelo, and Vibes, the Alpine driver, will have the DRS wide open, and can Vibes take advantage of that? Heading towards turn 1, side by side they go, and who's going to come out on top between the two of them? Oh, some good racing between the two, and Vibes gets ahead. Meanwhile, into the pits for Verklempt, and he has gone on to a set of the hard compound tyres. Verklempt on the tail of Harry into the right hand corner. Verklempt going up the inside. Can he make the move stick? He can indeed. Up to P8 for him as Polly Tromp goes into the pits for Red Bull from what was the lead of the race onto a set of the hards. Vibes also pits for Alpine. And what tyre is Vibes going to go on? It is a set of the hard compound tyres for the Alpine driver. And now, where do they slot in? You can see his teammate Mr. Diaz going through. Vibes is going to be behind his teammate. He is going to be ahead of Verklempt in the McLaren car. What tyre does Angelo go on as he comes into the pits? It will be the hard tyre. It's a 3-second time penalty for Vibes, as well as the two Alpines switch positions there. And now Mr. Diaz coming into the pits, as we can see there. But where does Angelo feed into the pack? It's going to be behind Vibes. It's going to be just ahead of Verklempt. But Verklempt rounds the final corner and will get the DNS down the pit straight. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? DRS wide open, as we can see. Side by side he goes, and it is P6 there for Verklempt in the McLaren car. Lord James into the pits now from what was the lead, and it is going to be some medium tyres for the double defending champion, and he's going to lose the lead to Polly Tromp. Is he going to lose P2 to LTK Tarrier? Yes, he is. Is he going to lose P3 to Danny M7? Could be close. However, it looks like it's going to be Danny to take P3, and Lord James slotting in for P4 at this moment in time. And now we'll see what sort of pace has Lord James got on those medium tyres. He's already close right up to Danny here. And heading into the hairpin corner, Lord James up the inside he goes, and he takes that P3 away pretty much straight away there. As into the pits goes Harry. He goes on to the medium tyre as well. And into the pits goes Danny M7. So into the pits for a second stop of the Grand Prix for Danny here. And let's see what tyre he goes on to. It is going to be a set of the hard tyres to the end of the race. It's Bolly into the pits for Sauber as well. He is going to put on some medium compound tyres. And is it going to be close between him and Harry? Could be quite close, but Harry is the one who is ahead as Bolly emerges out of the pit lane. I'm going to look towards the battle for P10 because Bolly has the DRS on Harry here. Are they going to go side by side? Yes, they indeed are. And that is Bolly up to P10 for Sauber, and he just about completes the move there as well. Harry is into the pits and retires from the Grand Prix. Wozzy Jr.'s into the pits. He goes on to some medium compound tyres. And around the final corner goes Lord James. Look at that difference in speed through the final corner. Lord James already having a look at LTK Terrier. Now the DRS is open and side by side they go, heading towards the first corner. Who's going to come out on top here? Side by side they go, and it is Lord James who completes the overtake there. Oh, into the pits goes Verklempt. Verklempt into the pits from what was P5. And what tyre is the McLaren driver going to go on to? It is some soft compound tyres for Verklempt. See where he comes out. Does he come out ahead of Mr. Diaz? It could be quite close here. It's going to be very close. Verklempt comes out just behind the Alpine driver. Is anybody going to be pitting? No, they are not, as Verklempt now goes side by side with Mr. Diaz. Maybe a bit of contact there. Either way, Verklempt gets the overtake done there. And vibes, that is another time penalty. An LTK Terrier pits from P3. So let's see what tyre Terrier is going to go on to here. His second pit stop, it is going to be the soft tyre for an LTK Terrier, as Vibes and Angelo go through for third and fourth. And now, where is Terrier going to come out in relation to Danny? It could be quite close here, but Danny goes up into P5 and Terrier slots into P6 here. Lord James is still closing that gap for the lead as well. So that is one to also keep an eye on. This race is still very much in the balance. Terrier gets ahead of Danny into the hairpin there. Apologies for missing that one. We look towards this battle for that final podium position for the moment. Angelo with the DRS wide open. Side by side they go, and Angelo heads up to P3 now with that overtake. Mr. Diaz doing a very good job on those 14 lap hold hards to stay with Verklempt here. Very good job indeed there. Ollie Tromp begins the penultimate lap of the race. It is 2.7 seconds his advantage on Lord James. We can see that Vibes has some penalties. 12 seconds for Vibes actually. So maybe should have had the penalties up earlier. Terrier sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 22.8, and he could yet still be on the podium here. Could Terrier? Diaz closes up to Verklempt. The Alpine driver tries to swoop around the outside. Can he make it stick? The Alpine of Mr. Diaz. It's going to change to the inside for him for turn 2. Verklempt defends the position for the moment at least. Tarrier though, right on the tail of Vibes now, as Mr. Diaz, 3-second time penalty for him. Tarrier right on the tail of Vibes here. And Tarrier will be looking to get past, and is he going to sweep around the outside? He does indeed, and that's Tarrier up to P4. This could very well be a fight for the final podium position here. Oh, Tarrier slides around the final corner and Vibes crashes into him, loses that front wing, and that is not ideal for Tarrier or Vibes as we head on to the final lap. Lord James is closing up to Polytromp still. It's now at the gap of 1 second. Lord James maybe just needed 1 or 2 more laps and the race win could have been his. Polytromp though, right into the penultimate corner, and Polytromp rounds the final corner. Polytromp will cross the line to get a second race victory in a row and win the Qatar Grand Prix, as Lord James comes home for second. Danny gets himself ahead of that stricken Alpina Vibes, so Vibes down to 6th as Wazzy Jr. gets ahead of Bolly. P10 on the penalties there. Tarrier gets himself another penalty there as Angelo will round the final corner. He will make it a double Ferrari podium here in Qatar, and Angelo finishes 3rd. Tarrier crosses line for 4th, but does he keep the position to Danny? No, he doesn't. Danny up to P4. Tarrier will be P5 ahead of Vibes, who crosses the line for P6. For Verklempt across the line, and Mr. Diaz crossing the line as well.